Ways to combat separation anxiety that we posted recently. This one I believe Bridget did. I don't even know if I watched this one. Let's see what they say. Let's see. Here, I'm going to pull this up on TikTok so I can see it better. I don't even know. I don't even follow our TikTok page, frankly.
What?
All right, here we go. Ways to combat separation anxiety. Separation anxiety occurs when a dog becomes anxious because they are separated from you, resulting in home destruction, vocalization, or something else. In order to combat this, you can try these tips. Bed stays or down stays are a good way to create distance from your dog and keep them occupied. What else we got here? This can also help negate anxious behaviors such as pacing or demanding attention. If they do begin to demand attention by jumping or nosing you, ignore them. By giving them attention when they exhibit these behaviors, you're reinforcing them. Instead, revert back to the stability exercises by working on downstays and bed stays. Let's see if there's anything else. Lastly, do not be afraid to utilize your crate. Crates create a safe space for your dog, even when you're at home. Only correct for excessive barking or scratching in the crate. So basically breaking this down here. So we have a dog that's in for separation anxiety issues. And in this video, they're kind of discussing, how they're starting to work through this with this dog. One of the primary ways we start doing this is with, like she was describing, the stability exercises. So our bed stays and our down stays. So when we're struggling with separation anxiety, we utilize those bed stays and we showcase here the dog initially being anxious. We showcase implementing that bed stay, and then her literally walking all around the room, leaving the room for excessive periods of time, and the dog obviously just being chill in that situation. Mm-hmm. From there, they discuss most dogs with separation anxiety push us for attention, obviously. So nosing at us, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Behaviors that aren't necessarily correction worthy because they're not really wrong, but they're still annoying and caused by a dog being essentially very operant and knowing that they can elicit responses out of us, right? So by ignoring those behaviors, what we do is we find that the dog learns over time that none of these behaviors that they're doing get that response out of us, so I should go and occupy myself in another way.
Yeah.
Right? Then you get into the crate issue. Most dogs that have separation anxiety issues, we start to cater to them, right? We don't utilize the crate because they get anxious in there because they're always following us around the house. So we want to obviously implement that crate in situations. Yep. And then while they're in there, actually stop the anxious behaviors as opposed to, they're stressed out in there, we're just going to let them out.
Yeah.
Right? So, and obviously you get into then how do we go about stopping these things? Well, we utilize the e-collar to correct for some of those things. We create boundaries in the crate, stuff like that. But you'll find a lot of different tips and tricks on this kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
So.
Yeah. I don't know if I can give you a quick example.
Give me an example.
Well, so usually Bender is completely oblivious to people. Doesn't care about them at all. Dogs, pretty much the same thing. The one instance that we've had problems was at Pet People because he learned that he gets treats from these people.
Sure.
So now, I have to correct him pretty much every time because he goes in there and he jumps on everybody and gets too excited. And it's because that was the one place that we let another person reward him.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, you create an association that you go to these places and this happens. I'll give you an example as well, right? So my wife used to take Deli for walks all the time, right? And she would go, back when she lived in Gordon Square, she would go walk to the Phoenix coffee shop and meet friends up there like a couple times a week, right? She'd always take Deli. And as soon as she got to Phoenix and the friend was sitting on the park bench or whatever, she would always tell Deli okay to let her go over and say hi to the person, right?
Yeah.
I remember one time we're walking there and I was kind of like, maybe we should not do this as much with her, whatever, that. And again, she's very well behaved. She walks well. She knows her commands. She listens well to them and stuff like that. But we started conditioning in, because Kate was letting her do that so much, we started conditioning in that every time we went there, before she even said okay, once we were 20 feet away from the person, at Phoenix, sitting on the park bench outside, Deli would just freaking launch herself towards that person because she knew something so exciting and so stimulating was going to happen as soon as she got there. And here's the thing. Yes, we should be able to control that drive, and we can control that drive, right? As soon as we started noticing that be a pattern, we corrected her for it and made sure she stopped and made sure she practiced that impulse control moving forward.
Yeah.
But again, it's like an uphill battle of we start conditioning in this association that every time you see another person in this spot, get yourself so freaking jacked up, which is going to make it harder for you to behave yourself in that situation. It doesn't necessarily excuse that you shouldn't behave yourself, but you start asking these questions of like, just because I can get my dog to control myself in this situation, is it am I doing it in a fair way for the dog that's keeping them successful?
Yeah.
Right. So maybe in that situation, you start implementing, like I do when I have guests come over, like 20 minutes or so of duration around that person first, so that there's not an immediate sense of stimulation. Right. Then we go to release, and it's usually a lot calmer at that point.